Well, it's fair to say that didn't go to plan. Welcome to the Talking Hawks round 2 review between the Hawks and the Dees, a 55-point loss in which the Hawks only put up 38 points, but the Wizard kicked his first, so we're looking for positives early. My name's Daz. The next voice you're about to hear belongs to Lauren, who was also at the game today. Lauren, we were exasperated with the lack of execution last week, and I think we're going to be exasperated for different reasons tonight. How are you?
Yeah, not too bad. It was a rough day at the G this afternoon. Our lowest score against the D's in 64 years, I read just before on X. So, yeah, pretty frustrating day.
Yeah, for sure. Hunty and I are on the same page there. I will give you guys a heads up as well. PG guys, we don't want to get kicked off YouTube, so just keeping that in mind with your comments. I know you're frustrated, but you're not going to appear on the screen, so don't yell at me. I'm going off YouTube's live streaming guidelines here, guys. My goodness. But yeah, a few of us in here. I think this sums it up pretty nicely. Tom, if I can get your comment up here, mate. Yeah, bloody disappointing. Yeah. I'll tell you what else is bloody disappointing. The fact this is going to be short and sharp. We're going to be out of here in about 20 minutes time because if Big Daz doesn't get on that V-line train, let me tell you, my car's going to be towed. So what we're going to do is we're going to make all of our anger really condensed, and then we're going to go from there. But let's start with some positivity while we go through the Hawthorn fan emotions. Lauren, have you got one for us?
Oh, give me a sec. No, I think, as you said, Watson's first goal was good. Took a while to come, but lovely to see that. And I think we saw some good stuff from guys like Mackenzie, who I plotted earlier in the day, but he did lift in the end, just a few little mistakes. But I don't think anyone had a perfect game. It was good to see, though, Warple once again lifting, but just concerning that that midfield, like Newcomb and Nash, what is going on with them? I don't understand. They're having a very rough start to the year.
Yeah, they really are. And oh boy, it was that first quarter of keepings off, and Sam spoke about it in the presser as well. That it was amazing, the fact that we just could not move the ball. The lateral, the sideways, all that was fine, but not able to cap things off in that forward line. Riley, I don't think you're too far off the mark there, mate. I think the whole midfield group is missing their best and fairest winner, which is hard to blame them, but still, my goodness.
Yeah, definitely.
Solar's found a couple of positives, though. Warple picking up some good form, I should say.
Yep, as well as D'Ambrosio. Agree. He was backed up his performance last week as well, so that was good to see. Yeah, like their games, both of them.
Yeah, I think some of these, I think Lewis and Newcomb especially are going to come good, Daniel, but I like your use of the word disheartening there was probably the term I was looking for before in the mad scramble that has been getting from the G to the recording space. I couldn't agree more. It was very difficult where I was sitting to not show my exasperation, but I wasn't allowed to. So there we go.
Yes.
Noodle getting a little bit of stick. I think, again, the centre was fine. Hit-outs were relatively even, but when you look at the clearance numbers, we had a +1 at the stoppage and lost stoppage clearances, and 3-on-3 we just got absolutely smacked at centre clearance. -9 in both games so far against a really good midfield, with one of them being tagged. I think Oliver only had one centre clearance for the game, and Christian Petrarca was one of the big differences, as well as their two guys up forward.
Yeah, definitely. It's concerning to see the midfield somewhat take a step back. We understand that Day is out, and that is a massive loss. But, yeah, I don't know. David Howe's got a bit of a job in his hand for next week.
For sure. And we're running into a cat side with full of confidence after that win against the Crows. Benny, I don't think you're actually allowed to pull boxing gloves out yet, and it's kind of our fault because Paul Mitchie Lewis copped one there and go from there. But the toughness around the stoppage, you bring up a good point. 9 goals from stoppage Melbourne kicked this year, which is the most we've conceded in the game, I believe, since 2019. So,
yeah. And I think one of the another concerning stat is the tackles. We were in that first quarter, I believe we were down something like 6-26 or something like that, entered the game with 50-73. I mean, if we're a young side, skills, those type of things can come and go in a game, but the effort, the pressure has got to be there the entire time. Very frustrating that, there was just didn't seem to be a lot of intensity around the ball.
Yeah, for sure. Riley, spot on. Any criticism of Nick Watson, he would be number 18 on my list of problems right now, and that is being probably a bit harsh for him. A good question here. What changes do we need to make for Easter Monday? Well, Sam spoke about personnel and system. He expects to change a little bit. That second quarter was more encouraging, which is nice, but I definitely do not believe we're going to be going in with an unnamed side for the third week in a row. Lauren, no. I think that's a fair statement.
Definitely not. It'll be a good watch. Box Hill against Casey down at Casey, also on Channel 7 tomorrow, so shout out to them. We'll see who dominates there and who might get a call up to play on Easter Monday, because I think there might be a couple.
And there might be a left footer with a particularly famous number at the Hawks, and his initials might be an alliteration. That might be something to look for. Yeah. Nigel, I'm going to put this in the overreaction basket for two reasons. The first reason is being that, except for father-sons, because I'm not going to include Ben and Lucas Campriali and Tyler Welsh in this discussion, 8 of the top 10 kids in the country right now are midfielders. Now, I know you're probably thinking we need a midfielder, but I think, and I won't give any examples now because I haven't done the proper research, but I think we can use our first round pick better than making it pick 1, 2, 3 and just spending it on another mid. That's where I stand right now. That could very easily change as we watch guys like Sid Draper and Finn O'Sullivan perform. The under 18s were back today, and I feel like Hawks fans line might be keeping an extra close eye on a few Victorian mids.
Yeah, I think I did send a tweet out, something saying anyone got their eyes on the 2024 draft yet. But as you said, I think if we end up with that top 5 pick again, it has to go to be traded out to get one of those big guys in, whether in the forward line or the back line.
Trivia question for anyone that wants to jump in, but Lauren will ask you as well. The Triple M stat was ineffective tackles, but let's be honest, that means either missed or broken tackles. Let's not call a spade a spade. How many do you reckon the Hawks had today?
Gosh. Can I say 1,000? No.
Probably. Well, you can.
Maybe.
You'd be a little bit wrong. But for context, if you want context, Melbourne had 17. Just for context.
So I would say 35, maybe?
47.
Yep.
And I was that sums it up.
That's rough. It's really rough.
Yeah, absolutely. Hustwaite and Phillips a must. I just heard Ethan Phillips next week is just, who's he play on? I think Josh Weddle needs to go to Jeremy Cameron personally, and of course Frost will get Hawkins. Like, what do we do here? My goodness. James Sicily pretty much tagged again. Bailey Fritsch playing that role. Alex Neil-Bullen went with him a little bit in that second half as well. He had 15 touches in the first quarter, so the 7 of the 8 quarters combined this year has had 23 touches.
Yeah, it's another concerning, troubling aspect of that our game so far. Our two rounds have shown that some of the younger kids are standing up, and it seems like the older blokes are struggling quite a lot.
Yeah, for sure. We've kicked 16 goals this year as a team, as a collective. We've conceded 13 from stoppage.
Oh, gosh. Yeah,
awesome, and we all thought the midfield was the good bit this year.
Yeah, it's frustrating. Like the fact that we've got quite a few glaringly obvious issues on every single line is going to put a really hard task for Sam Mitchell this week. I don't know. There's got to be some big changes, and as he said in the press conference, there'll be structural changes, and it'll be very interesting to see what those are, because it's just not working at the moment.
Yeah, that's just not working, I think, is the perfect way to sum it up. Now, we're going to do a little bit of a whipping boy check here, and I'm going off fans whipping boys, not ours here at Talking Hawks. Sam Frost, tick.
Pretty good.
Lost one contest for the day. Tick.
Yep.
As far as a key defender goes, if we find out next week he loses one contest to Tom Hawkins, I might cheer him off myself.
Yeah, no, been super impressed. Loved him down there.
Yeah, look, Jason, we have to apologise. There's only so with the Melbourne games. It was a little bit difficult tonight. I want to give a little bit of a shout out to Timmy. One of his poor girls a little bit crook at the moment, so that was part of it. So Timmy, Fingers crossed that the little one is okay, of course, but it was a mad dash for me to get out of the MCG tonight, Jason. So again, I'll put my hand up. I'll be accountable for that. I'll be better. Ben, well, it was hard for us to turn up now. 44,000, Twilight Day, MCG, a game, coming off a game we probably should have won. And also, of course, pretty hard to make some noise there when you get outplayed like that in the first 10 minutes.
Yeah, I mean, you can make excuses like the F1's on and all that type of stuff, but yeah, a little disappointing for our first home game for sure.
Yeah, I agree with this a little bit. If I can get it up on the screen there. Don't actually think it's the defense's fault. Look, you want your players to be on for 4 quarters. My big problem with the defenders, and this isn't a stat, but I want it to be a stat, and that is how many times players line up for a set shot against the Hawks and can still find another target.
Oh, so yes.
Ben Brown off that long run up. Jarman Impey just went to sleep on Kay Chandler, I reckon it was. In the last quarter, I think Joshy Weddle might have been guilty of it in this game as well. Dimmer should have been pinged for it as well. It's just, and you commented last week, Lauren, on how bad it was against the Bombers.
Yeah, it happened quite a few times last week. Should have been something that's a pretty simple fix. Just pay attention when a guy's having a shot at goal, just in case. And all were caught sleeping a few times, that defense. Super, super frustrating.
Just one of those things that when you start, the good teams, you just don't notice it because they don't do it because they're absolutely on. So the one thing that I'm taking out of this message is that we're just going to lose centre clearances by 9. If the best predictor of future behaviour is past behaviour, we're just losing them by 9, and that's not good.
Yeah, the thing with the midfield is that because of the midfield going pretty poorly at the moment, it puts massive pressure onto our backline, as we said. But we also can't get a half decent forward 50 entry to save ourselves. So that's why the likes of Mitch Lewis, even though I thought, regardless, he still had a difficult game today, but we can't get it into him as well. Can't find him the ball, which is really annoying. Yeah,
absolutely. And you look at the strange stats. So for those that commented a little bit on Marby or Chol, I kind of lost my place there, but I'll jump back in here. Led our tackle count halfway through the last quarter. I actually don't know if he led it for the entire game. I might do my little bit of research there. So commenters make my job difficult because we've only got about 8 minutes before we got to jump out of here. My fault. So sorry that I've got to go home, but unfortunately, that's the nature of the beast. Marby or Chol did lead our tackle count with 5.
Yeah.
4 Melbourne players had more tackles than him.
That is not good enough. Those are one of the things where it's not, you don't need to have brilliant football ability. You just need to have the intent and the will and the passion to want to win and want to get your hands on the ball. And it's just frustrating that we're not seeing that because that is what a young team can bring to a game.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So, broken tackles also include broken is in contact was made and the player still had an effective possession as well. So it's not just a tackle was laid and then they were able to burst away. So sometimes you're a little bit stiff with that because you could just grab a bloke's jumper because you're diving at him and he still gets a handball away. But still, 47 to 17 or whatever it was is extraordinary numbers. Another one maybe to watch in the VFL, Lauren?
Yeah, I think so. I mean, we know Reeves can take a hit out, but the work around the ground is pretty subpar at the moment, and we know Ramsden can do that. And now I'm not sure. I know Stanley was a bit sore, whether he's actually injured or going to miss weeks or not. But it might be a time to try Ramsden, not so he's not against one of those top 5 rucks in the league next week. So maybe give him a go. We'll see.
Yeah, I like it. I'm not sure I'm ready to call Reece Stanley a top 5 ruck, but in terms of experience and size, I'm with you. Totally, completely.
Oh, no, I meant, sorry.
As in,
sorry,
not
I meant
born.
that, yes.
I'm with you.
Yes.
That's
sorry,
on me. That's okay. My brain cells are melting live on YouTube. It's okay. Will Day missing him badly. Interesting this from Sam Mitchell. I think the fact that he was able to turn the plan on a dime after that first quarter is more encouraging than not. I don't know how many people here watch the Western Bulldogs play football, but they don't change a goddamn thing. So now is the negative the fact that the plan was so barbaric is almost the word, a problem? Absolutely it is. Is the fact that we didn't go back to it for the remaining 3 quarters a positive? Probably. And that defensive system from the Dees was just awesome.
Yeah, for sure. But yeah, it was crazy that they were still dominating us in that area, even after, unfortunately, May went off with what looked like to be a pretty serious injury and leave. I'm not sure what ended up happening to him, but they were still...
knee for Lever, and Stephen May, they expect have 2 broken ribs.
That's a painful one, that's for sure. Yeah, but...
Not one I've experienced and one I don't want to.
Absolutely not, no. But yeah, couldn't get the ball into our 50 or keep it inside our 50, even once their 2 best defenders were gone. So yeah, very tricky.
For sure. My thoughts, let's go to Marby or Chol here, because my thoughts with Choley are being able to actually watch him live at the game. I understand where the laconic stuff comes from, and I don't think that hurts him all that well. His field kicking for a big man is tick.
Agreed.
I've got no qualm with that at all. My issue with Marbior at the moment is that he has no body presence in the air in a marking contest. So he's got the height, he's got the jump, but if he has to sit under a ball, it's almost like watching an 18, 19-year-old jump at the footy. And it's just as simple as he gets outmaneuvered. Like, sure, is he going to outmark Max Gorn? Maybe not. Is he going to outmark Jake Lever? Probably not. Getting out-muscled by Caleb Windsor, who was the number 7 pick in the draft. I think it was Caleb Windsor in a moment. Oh, sorry, Judd McVie it was. My bad. On that outer wing is just, not really okay with me for a guy who I think's been in the system now 7 years. Is a little bit concerning. So, well, here's an interesting go. Josh Ward, do we finally just put him in the midfield there, or is it Box Hill?
I think he got plenty of time in the midfield for me today. I saw him getting a lot of. I would love to see the CBAs. They're probably up somewhere, but I feel like he got pretty decent amount of time in the midfield compared to last week, and still not up to it in my opinion at the moment. Still in this is his 3rd year, I believe. So still a work in progress, but why not try Hustwaite?
I like it. Peter here brings up a good point, because you think of it like 5 goals, 8, but they didn't have a lot of good delivery. I think our expected scoring for the game was like 7 goals, 7. So we 49, which, how big of a difference is that going to make? I don't think percentage is going to be a big factor for us this year, but we had 42 inside 50s, late 11 tackles inside 50. Tick. Apart from the Wizard, unfortunately, our set shot goal kicking wasn't anywhere near as bad. But I think on the year at the moment, we are combined 7 goals, 11 with 5 non-scores. That's a problem.
Yeah, that's pretty terrible stats there. I thought the forward line, as we said, poor delivery in there, but they didn't look like they worked well together. Far too many times it has gone in there, and over the last 2 weeks, and it looks like we were just about to score a goal, but then we do one too many handballs, or someone handballs behind someone else, kick gets smothered, something like that, and it just we completely lose the chance we had at a shot on goal. That's happened quite a few times. I think that gets improved with time, but yes, just pretty frustrating that a few times we definitely could have scored. Those opportunities went begging.
Yeah, I think so. Now, Hawks fans, as much as I would love to sit here for the next hour and chat to you, I have just under 10-minute walk to get to a train that is currently 12 minutes away. So unfortunately, we are going to have to wrap this up for a very short 20-minute live stream. Thank you so much for jumping on. Maybe we'll do one tomorrow night, Monday. We'll see how we go in terms of time, but it's been a massive panic rush today. We'll have a change room interview coming. I was very lucky enough to speak to one of Hawthorn's best players today. which has been awesome. We'll have 6 points that come out, and we might even get some points from you guys from the stream that we can get the lads to react to as well. So, Lauren, I appreciate the late notice and you jumping on. Appreciate that.
Oh, yeah, no worries. Short but sweet.
And fans, we appreciate you as well, peaking it over 260 tonight. So next week, no matter the result, we're going to go longer, which is going to be fantastic, guys. Look after yourselves. Enjoy the rest of your night. Fingers crossed the Bombers get beaten so we can get one positive out of this weekend. And above all, go the Hawks.